I just really thank God that I'm okay, that I'm not paralyzed. They were able to do 2 successful surgeries. It's hard to move my chest area just because it wasn't as strong, but I'll get there eventually.
What's up, YouTube fam? It's your favorite girl, Jay Shara, coming back to you with yet another video. This is going to be my 50,000 subscriber count story time. We have been waiting for this moment for me to tell this story about the time that I was shot in my heart and I survived. I promised y'all as soon as I hit 50K, I would make this story. So yeah, here we are. So, I guess I'll get into it. First and foremost, thank you guys so much who have supported me. Without you, there would be no story time right now because I promised you all at 50,000, I will be telling you all this story. However, this story begins 3 years ago, 2018. I just graduated college. I decided that it was best for me that I would move to Los Angeles, and that's what I did. I was in LA for 3 days, and then this incident happened, so didn't even get to live my life a tad bit at all. I moved to LA on June 6th, so June 9th, which is that Saturday, an old friend of mine and myself, we ended up going to this party on the west side of the States. They were kind of still in school or just graduating, so it was like a big celebration. It was a day party that lasted all night. We get to the party, nothing but good vibes all day. I remember dancing, I remember making Snapchats. I already started my channel at this point, so I was recording, doing different stuff, making vlogs. And also, I just moved to LA, so I was trying to link, I was trying to like socialize, just, you know, meet new people. You know, I was vibing all day. So then we ended up leaving this location. I don't even know why we were switching locations because the party was fat. But long story short, we ended up going to this next house. We were like one of the first people to get there. And I'm like, okay, this ain't my scene. I ain't trying to be the first one there. But anywho, I just really wasn't feeling it. And then an hour later, I just got mad sick. And mind you, I didn't drink, so it wasn't like I was hungover or just sick from the liquor. I wasn't drinking, so out of nowhere, I got nauseous. And so then I remember going outside to the back of the party. I sat on the side of this property. I'm feeling sick. I had my head down. Like, I just didn't know what was wrong with me. 2, I didn't want to be there, but at the same time, I was rolling with my friend. I wasn't really trying to be a party pooper. It wasn't that late, so I'm like, you know, I just moved to LA. Let me vibe. Let me just stick it out. So I go in the house or whatever, and by the time I go back in, because I was sitting out there for a little minute, it's packed. Time had passed. So I go in there, I find my old friend, and then I sit, like I had like got a chair and like set it in the kitchen. She was like in the kitchen area, and I was sitting down in the middle of the party in front of so many people. Imagine how I'm sitting down and it's just people standing all over, or just standing all around you. I wasn't feeling it at all, basically. It's like my body knew something was about to happen, but I didn't consciously know like something was about to happen. And I kid you not even 5 minutes later, everyone just starts running. One thing about me, if something happens, I freeze. So I'm just looking like, what? And so the reason why I end up getting up, I end up start running, because my friend at the time, she was like, come on, you know, when she made the joke, you know, when black people start running, we need to run too. So we start laughing. And so I get up and we start running to the front of the property. But when we got to the door, like she kept running and I was looking and I stopped because everyone who was on the door opened inward. So everyone who was trying to get out was piled up on the door, and they were so chaotic, climbing on top of each other, that they couldn't even open the door. That's one of my fears, being trampled. I'm not about to go that way. And then immediately I'm like, why is everyone running anyway? So I go back to the back, I walk around and I go towards the kitchen area to try to see out the back door in the backyard. At this point, this is when I turned into a whole new person. I don't know who I was, what I was doing, like why I was acting in this way. So I go back there, and as soon as I like turn towards the island in the kitchen, this guy walks in. Oh my God. This guy walks in. I never really told the story like that. It's like really fucking with me right now. This guy walks in, and I just remember him. I just remember him, and he was wearing like navy, all navy, and I feel like he had like 2 or 3 people with him, but I really couldn't see the faces of the people behind him. I like just remember him. And like soon as I seen him, I paused because I just got like this energy, like I just stopped. And everything that I'm explaining, all of this happened so quickly, so I didn't have time to think. It all happened so fast. He came in, I stopped, we locked eyes, he put his hand up, and he just started airing that out. So this is how it happened. Say I'm him and I'm over here. It's open concept like my house. You can see everything. He came in the kitchen. He wasn't even in there for 5 seconds. He immediately puts his gun up. Pow, 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 pow. When he came in, he was shooting and he scanned the whole entire place. Mind you, I was on this side. So I was like one of the last people to get shot or shot at. As he's scanning, I'm watching him because I'm just in like so much disbelief. Like I'm literally watching this man shoot. I'm literally watching the fire or the spark and the bullets fly. And then by the time he got to me, I don't really remember. I don't remember being hit. The next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Like I'm kneeling on the ground. And then I look to my side, like I look back and he's still shooting. And then as I'm looking back, I see my phone. It's on the like, not other side of the room, but it's far from me at this point. And I'm like, why is my phone over there? It's like I'm aware of what's going on, but at the same time, I'm just so out of it. Before he even came in the party, I was already out of it. So imagine how I'm feeling now. So my mission at this point was not to get out. I was trying to get to my phone. I'm still hearing gunshots. I'm crawling to my phone. I got my phone and I put it in my back pocket. Then I like cut a corner and I go into like this foyer, like this hallway area. And then there was a bathroom right there. So I open up and I go in the bathroom. I go in the bathroom and I shut the door and I turn on the lights, and I heard something in the bathroom in the shower. So I go in there and I pull the shower back, and it was 3 people in there, and they just start screaming. And they were like, oh my God. And then I look down. Mind you, this day I had on a yellow crop top, and at this moment it was red. And immediately when I looked down, I was like, oh my God. That's when I start freaking out. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. But as soon as I got back in the hallway, all the lights in the house were off. I still heard gunshots, y'all, and everyone was screaming. Like, it was just mad. So then I go into like the front room, not where I came from, where I got shot. I went like another way. And I went into this front room area, and it was probably like 7 people in here, like running back and forth. Like I really felt like this was a crazy ass dream. Y'all know how like if you ever played The Sims, and if you like block furniture or if you put furniture in the way, like the Sims can't get around. It was like they couldn't get out this room. I just remember shouting because I start panicking. I'm like, y'all, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Like I was shouting, and it was like, go out the front, because it was this big window and it was already broke, but it was the front of the lawn. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go out there. Like I don't know who else is out there, if people are getting shot out there. Like I was so fucking scared. So then it was this side window, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get out here. So we broke that window and I hopped out that window. But mind you, when I hopped out this window, it was a huge fence. So I had to hop that fence, right? I had to hop that fence onto the next property and run to the front of the drive, or to the front of the road. So I'm like running to the front. There was another gate. Now, to this day, whenever I tell this story, I don't remember if I hopped that gate or if I like actually, if there was like a doorway or a entryway and I walked out. I don't remember. However, by the time that I got to the front of the road, I was so exhausted. I have never, ever in my life to this day been that tired. I was so tired that I was ready to end my own life. The bullet didn't take me out, not me being scared of the guy who had the gun. It was the point that I don't think y'all understand, I was so tired that I just couldn't move any further. By the time I got to the front of the road, I like start reaching my arms down. This is the pavement and this was my hand. As soon as I was about to hit the pavement, I seen this tattoo, and then I also had a Jesus Loves You bracelet on. This tattoo signifies my mom and my relationship. So it's like a mother or a nurturer swaddling a baby. And then I had the Jesus Loves You bracelet. I seen them both at the same time, and immediately I was this close. I was like, and so when I start thinking about my mom and I start thinking about my brother, and I had the Jesus Loves You bracelet on, I just felt really selfish. I was like, you got these people who love you. You have these people who would be depressed if you just died like that. And so really my family is my family, my mom and my brother is really the real reason why I'm alive, like 100%. Because if I didn't have them, to hold on to my life, I would not be here right now. Like, I know I'm like this strong person and I know like nothing's gonna take me down, but it was the simple fact that I was so tired. I was just about to lay on the ground and die. I was not scared. I didn't cry. Like, I didn't be like, God, like, please. Like, I was so tired. I did not care. Like, I was gonna lay there and just die. Like, to this day, I can't believe I was in that state. Anywho, as soon as I saw this, I got up, I was like, and then I had my phone in my pocket. Luckily, I grabbed my phone because A, I just moved to LA and I don't know anyone, and B, somebody needs to call the police. So I grabbed my phone out of my pocket, and at this point, I'm doing everything with my left hand because this right here is where the bullet entered. So here is where I actually got shot. It's very small compared to how big it was when I first got shot. I was doing everything with my left hand because I was putting pressure on my ribs, on the wound the whole time. So like me running out the house, me hopping the fence, me running to the front, doing everything, I was running like this. So when I got back up, I grabbed my phone, I grabbed it out I remember it was in my right pocket. I'm like this, trying to get it out my shorts. I dialed 911 and I called them. I just got shot. I'm at this party, and then I remember the operator, she was just like, she wasn't like hella rude, but she was just like hella nonchalant. And she was like, where are you? I'm like, I don't know my direct location. All I know is I'm in Mission Hills. And she was like, are you at a party or something? I was like, yeah. She was like, we've already got a call. The police are on their way, but could you please find your exact location so we can come get you? So I had to walk down the street. And I don't know if this is a California thing or if this is a LA or a Mission Hills thing, but when you're walking and you get to the end of the street, they don't have the crossroads. They only have one street name, and then you have to go to the next street to give the adjacent street. I had to walk 2 freaking blocks to give this first responder my location. But by the time I get to the second street, it was cops. They were coming. They had huge, heavy machinery guns. They had the freaking shields out, and they were like walking towards me. But when I tell y'all, this night I did not care. In my mind, I was thinking either hand is the upper hand. Like, as long as I get out of here, I didn't care where I went. Mind you, my yellow shirt is red. They was like, have you been shot? I'm like, I felt like I was in the office because I literally stopped. I was like seriously. Fast forward, the police ended up helping me. They one police officer, I really wish I knew his name. I really wish I knew if he still worked in the force. He like held me the whole time, walked with me, and he sat me down on the sidewalk. He even sat down on the sidewalk with me. The whole time I had like my head on his shoulder. Mind you, I waited like an hour for the ambulance. And then he ended up laying me down, y'all. And I promise you, as soon as I like laid flat and hit the ground, I was like, and I sat all the way up because when I laid back, I could not breathe at all. It felt like when I laid down, the elephant was just sitting his fat ass on my chest. But as I was trying to relax, it was hella people at the party. They were passing, going to their cars. And they're like, oh my God, this the girl from the party. I remember this one girl who I specifically was talking to in the party. I'm like, girl, can you please get my phone out of my pocket and call my friend or whatever? So she ended up calling her, and like a few minutes later, my friend ended up running up. She was screaming. She was Jay-Shar, like, oh my God. Because obviously I'm shot, I'm laid back, like looking crazy as hell, bleeding, just down bad. So she was going wild, and I got pissed. Like, obviously I knew where she was coming from, but I got pissed because at this point I haven't cried, I haven't lost my mind, so I'm just trying to make it through the night. I'm alive right now, please stop. So then one ambulance came, and I actually left first because they were taking people in the worst conditions first. Long story short, we ended up getting in the ambulance, and I remember just laying in there. It was just dark. with like these weird lights, and I couldn't relax because I kept asking, was I gonna die? I asked that so many times on the way to the hospital. So then at this point, we're at the hospital like an hour and a half after everything has transpired. They wheel me into like this huge room, and there's a doctor and hella nurses, so many people in this room, and they're all looking at me. I don't know the gravity of the situation here. I'm delusional at this point, and they're asking me stuff. I'm answering nonchalantly, or I'm like giggling. And so then I wasn't in that room for 2 minutes, and somebody was like, doctor, and I thought they were handing him the phone. It was like this house phone, and then they put it in front of me. And I'm like, what's this for? And they was like, it's for you. I'm like, for me? Who's calling me on this house phone at the hospital? I answered it, and I was like, hello? She's like, Jazzy, and I hung up so fast. It was my mom. This probably sounds crazy, but I was never, ever, ever going to call my mom, ever. I didn't know how bad it was. And for two, I just moved to LA 3 days ago. My mom lives all the way in Indiana, across the country. I didn't want her to worry about this. So the fact that it's what, 1, 2 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning in Indiana, I'm thinking I was getting out the hospital in a few hours, like the next morning. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I just knew I was shot, and I was gonna get the bullet out and leave, like, and call it a day. It was a rough night. Like, that's literally how I was thinking. I didn't call her back, and they were like asking me different stuff, applying pressure to different spots, applying pressure on the wound. I'm like, bro, what is y'all doing? I'm getting pissed because it's going on 2 hours, and I had no medicine. Drug me up at this point. And they're like, I know we got to get the scans first, blah, blah, blah. You'll be fine, we'll give it to you. And then I end up going into like this machine, and that's the last thing I remember from that night. Fast forward to the morning, I woke up and I looked to the side, and my mom is sitting right there. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is really going on? I'm thinking I'm waking up from a bad dream. And then I just remember being in so much pain when I woke up. I just remember taking hella medicine and crying and being nauseous. So then towards the end of the week, I remember this one nurse in particular, she was like, okay, Jay, we're gonna change your dressing. And I'm like, my what? Like, what are you talking about? She started to like say like, okay, like take the covers off. I'm gonna lift up your gown or whatever. And I'm like, what's going on? So she like laid me back and then lifted everything up, and I had like patches right here. As she peeled the patch and the dressing off is when I first saw the staples. So it had been days before I even knew that I had this scar. As she starts peeling it off, I'm looking down at my stomach like, I thought I was just in pain. I got shot here. I have this big ass scar. My muscles are hurting. I've been on my back for days. My back is hurting. So everything just hurts. I can't distinguish where the hurt is coming from. So I never knew I had this big ass scar full of staples. So when she started peeling that back, I got quiet and I didn't talk for the rest of the night. Not only did I get shot, not only is it my heart, now I got this ugly ass scar. That's how I was thinking. I was shitty. Like, I was shitty. I was shitty. I think that is where I started to get like angry. So this is where I knew that I had this scar. The next time that my surgeon had came in, he was like, okay, Jayshara, now it's time. Like, are we gonna get this bullet out? Because over time, or if something happens, or you get bumped, or if something happens, there's a chance that that bullet can pierce your heart. Every time we look at your x-rays, the bullet is in a different place in your heart. So the bullet was in my heart sac, and I'm like, okay, like, why didn't you already get it out? And they're like, well, you have to consent for that. And so this is how delusional I was, y'all. The reason why I signed these consent forms, because I thought I was getting out of the hospital that weekend. I thought that weekend I was going to Six Flags, because we already had planned to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain in California that weekend. And my dumb ass thought I was still going. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to Magic Mountain. I ended up signing the consent forms, and I believe that same day is when my surgeon operated on me. So they took me into this room, they put me on this hard table. That's really all I remember before surgery, but I remember waking up during surgery. I remember waking up during surgery because I was in so much pain. It's because they couldn't give me anesthesia because my blood pressure was too high. So the whole time that they cut me open, I didn't have any painkillers. Like, I felt everything. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. In this moment, I can't describe how it feels, but I remember the feeling, and I remember seeing nurses. I'm like, please help me, it's hurting. And one nurse, I remember her saying like, I know, sweetie, it hurts. And I was like, you don't know, because if you knew how this fucking feel, I promise you, if they knew how bad they were hurting me, they would have never done that surgery. I can't feel it now and I can't explain, but I remember how much pain I was in. I felt like I was being clawed from the inside out. I feel like someone took a sharp knife and was just slicing through my stomach. Like, I just felt, it was so terrible. Then surgery was over. I don't really remember going back to the room. With that surgery being done, my scar, like this wound has actually been opened up twice. So the very first time, I didn't even tell y'all. The very first time, oh my God, I didn't even tell y'all, Jesus. So when I got shot here, the bullet fractured my ribs, split my liver, and then my lungs collapsed. So that time I told y'all when the police officer was trying to lay me on the ground, I couldn't breathe at all. It's because my lungs collapsed. I had broken ribs, a split liver, lungs collapsed, and the bullet was in my heart. If you... Let me tell you about my God. Broken ribs, split liver, lungs collapse, bullet in heart. Who you know? But that's really like the first week of everything. When I really realized that I really couldn't do shit. I can't go to Six Flags. I had to learn how to get up and get my legs back strong again and walk again, because I had been in the bed for so long. My legs were weak. My back was on fire. That's when I got really depressed, because my grandma started calling in, and my family like, are you gonna come back home? And I'm like, bro, I just escaped Indiana. I'm not trying to go back home. I couldn't barely walk. I couldn't eat. I couldn't keep anything down. And I just got very depressed. And I remember being irritable, but hearing the stories from my mom and even like my surgeon and the nurses, like when they would come in when I was in a good mood on a good day, they would be like, bro, like you were tripping yesterday, or like you was really on one, or you was really mean. I'm blabbering on. But another crazy story, I guess I can say it now. My mom was actually shot too. I was shot when I was 23. I'm 26 now, and my mom was shot when she was 23. My mom, she was actually shot in her head and she survived. I don't know if it's like familial trauma or just like a huge coincidence or just some crazy story, but we're here, so that's the most important thing. She had me, I believe my mom had me when she was 23, so it happened right when I was born. So I literally, whenever I think about my mom being shot or me being shot or our joint stories, like I'm just so grateful, because my mom was shot in her head, and I just don't know what I would do without my mom. A huge part of who I am is because of my mom, but that's not the video for today. We're solely talking about my situation. If you do have any questions, do not hesitate dropping that down. Anything you have to ask, just let me know and I'll answer them for you. Maybe I can do a Q&A. Other than that, that was the illustrious story of how I was shot in the heart and I survived. I was already just happy to be here type of person, but even further after that incident happened, I've just been on such a, your life is so short, you have to live life to the fullest. I emphasize that because literally no matter what setback, trial, tribulation, you have to keep going. You just have to live totally, wholly, 100% in the present. And I'm saying that now because I thank all of you, all of my supporters who have gotten us to 50,000 subscribers for me to even share this story with you. Never in a million years that before I start announcing that I was gonna announce it, I never was gonna tell anyone, because no one knew outside of my family. No one knew what happened to me until the year anniversary. I posted it on Facebook like, well, this is why I've been MIA. This is why I don't live in LA anymore. I got shot, and everybody was like, wait, what? Now they're hearing the story at the same time as you all are. So that was my story. I'll end this video by saying thank you so much again for getting us to 50,000 subscribers. I've always had, you know, the goals to progress on YouTube, and I don't have any goals for right now as far as subscriber goes. Of course I want to progress. Of course I want to get to 100K, a million, but I don't really want to race right now. I don't want to rush. I just want to live 100% in the present. I want to relax. I want to just enjoy right now, because every time like I'm in one stage of my life, I'm always looking to the next part or to the future, not realizing like this is what I prayed for. I'm just thankful. So that's really all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I love you. And one last thing that I will say is thank you. I'm just so grateful. Thank you. Because I see your beautiful messages. You say like, I make your day, and it just makes my day, because I've been through extremely rough time. Knowing that I could put a smile on your face, it just warms my heart, and I'm just so grateful to have that opportunity to make you laugh by laughing at my dumbass laugh, or me smiling, or me reacting, or my vlogs, or just my personality. I'm just very grateful, and I know that's my purpose, and I know that's why I'm here, and I will continue to be on YouTube, and I won't stop posting, and I love y'all, and I thank you so much. Other than that, if you've been riding with me, you know what I'm gonna say, and that's I love you. You love yourself 10 times more. Have a beautiful, wonderful, relaxed, comfortable, calm, serene, happy, positive, optimistic, cool, blessed, beautiful, amazing, wonderful night or day, wherever you are in this amazing world. Ciao.